बोले सोने हाल सासरी अकाल।
Sat Sri Akal, Namaskar, Adab, Jai Shri Krishna and welcome and a very warm good evening to all the food lovers of Akaal Cook Show. Myself, the presenter, hosting these shows for numerous years in many channels, and now with dedicated with Akaal channel across the globes of UK, Europe, America, Canada, Australia, Arusha, Tanzania, Kenya. Something very interesting, very exciting, because we tend to go for a lot of carbs. So I'm actually taking you to a bit of a journey of a different kind. As you see, my huge array of layout here is amazing. I have got sweet corn kernels, which are uncooked. I have boiled bulgur wheat with haricot beans, and that takes about 25 minutes to swell. But in the time, I added in tomato puree, a 7C spice while it was drying and dehydrated, and I covered it to end up with a nice kind of kalo ke killer me, just like chaul hunde ne. So this is going to go into my turka, with which I'm using my spring onions, I'm using raw ginger, adding because of wheat and because of sweet corn to help with digestion, chilies, peppers, coconut. So down in Madagascar Island, I am using coconut, and then a bit of touch of tomato puree, dropping in avocado into this. So it's good fats working with good coconut. Another essential fat. I keep talking about 369. You do not need to add creams and potions onto your skin and dry hands and chapped hands, and it doesn't go until you feed it from inside. So into my cook show today, I'll be using wonderful oils, and then I'll be serving that cream corn with bulgur wheat, with coconut, with feta cheese potato cakes, which are going to go with spinach, adding in the spices of chilies, and then toasting it on both sides with the breadcrumbs, with a bit of corn, and that will go into my air fryer, and then we'll leave you in suspense with timing as it goes along what I may do towards the end of the show. So stay tuned and welcome. So let's get cooking. So my pan getting on to heating, adding in olive oil and sesame seed oil, again very good oils, and walnut oil. So I'm using half a teaspoon of walnut oil, croton da tel, sesame seed oil half a teaspoon, and half of one of my most favorite, one of the highest best oils on earth is what I use in my personal cooking. This oil far outseeds all other olive oils in the market, and FDA approved. It is a mechanical extract and not hydraulic, because when they're doing it with heat, it destroys the properties of olive oil. This olive oil is one of the best, which does not create heat when the olives are pressed with the old system of mechanical. So let's get that heated. The fragrance aroma is coming through. Drop in my spring onions, half a teaspoon of garlic, and then I have got cream coconut. I may use just half of it. While that's cooking, I'm going to cover it up. This is called cream sweet corn. But then what's happening here, you've got the walnut, you've got the sesame seed, you've got the olive oil, you've got the coconut. can't go wrong. Each one of these essential fats are missing in the Punjabi diet and in our daily well-being and the care for our heart and skin and eyes and ears and mucous membranes. So the raw things are going in first because that's cooked. So I'm going to add in my peppers. You can add any other colored peppers. I'm going for orange. Just cover that up so it doesn't splatter onto the cooker. And in that interim, we'll be adding in chopped ginger. If you don't like ginger of that size, you can reduce it. But I'll add in a little bit of chopped spinach, which is here. But I'll also be adding spinach in my potatoes, which is actually a bulgur. And that's organic spinach only. The next is the sweet corn, which is also raw. This is not tinned. So this is so substantial. Half a bowl of sweet corn and 1/3 bowl of bulgur wheat with haricot beans is for 2 people. Going to leave that covered and let that steam through and cook through. Just reduce the heat. The idea is not to burn the heat food, but just reduce it so it cooks in its steam. Often people say they can't digest corn and it comes straight out of their system. Sweet corn needs a lot of chewing. And each time you're eating any kind of food, whether it's sweet corn or any food, dal, roti, bread, you need to at least chew 30 times each bite. I'm going to add in the tomato puree and fresh tomatoes, just 1 teaspoon. Add in the chilies, 1 teaspoon. You can always add more later on. About half a handful of chopped ginger. This is long strands of ginger and it looks lovely there. If you want more color in your corn, you can add some more tomato. So here comes in the coconut. Let that melt. This is going to melt. I'm first just going to let this cook through. I might add another half. So this is coconut cream, which is the purest cream coconut. This is not any kind of synthetic. It is cream coconut. It should be 100%. Don't look for cheaper stuff and don't look for milk, but it's literally pressed cream coconut. And as you'll watch how the cream coconut, which has got amazing properties, will make this so beautiful and creamy to taste. I add it in many other dishes as well. And I think this is the first time, 6 months, I've never used, or I've never ever used cream coconut in Akaal Cook Show, as far as I go. My memory goes back. You can see the fragrance coming through. It's amazing. It's melting slowly in its heat. And we're going to let that go through. Adding in salt and garam masala, half a teaspoon of each. Do remember, I have already spiced up the bulgur wheat, so that does not need too much salt. The coconut, you really must learn to taste food with less salt. So if you can see from the size, it's beginning. You can cut it. Cream coconut needs a good knife, but also be very careful because it is, condensed really into a brick. The avocado will be eaten raw on the side, another essential fat. So that's so good, and you can add lemon, black pepper on this one if you want to, and garlic salt. While that is going through, and I'm going to use its own olive oil, like for like. Look at the color, beautiful. When on the day you have these oils, you will wonder why you're feeling so good and clear in your head, because that's what your brain needs. It needs these oils. It's dying. It's craving for the missing oils, not vegetable oil and not corn oil. Takes a wee while. As you can see, it's now melting. You can have the camera close up. You can see here is the creamed coconut. Adding in the bulgur wheat with the haricot beans is another great substitute to bread and roti. And to this, I'll be adding in almond milk, half a bowl of almond milk. I hope you guys managed to enjoy the hazelnut milks, almond hazelnut milk. So here it is, beautiful, and it will thicken up now. The almond milk is going to help more thickening, and it will be so delicious. You can actually take it to work, heat it up, have it in a bread, have it on a pate, have it on a pizza base, have it on garlic bread, anything, have it on burger bread. And this is like a whole meal on its own, but satisfying. Why? Because it's got all the essential oils. I'm going to shut this down, and I'll be taking you now to the potato cake mix, which is going to be great. I'm just going to make 2 to serve this for a whole dinner for 2 people. And the concept in this little short break, I'm just going to get my set ready after a wee little break. Stay tuned.
एक 106 ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਨੇ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਜਾਂ ਡੀ ਲਾਈਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹਾਈ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਕਵਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇਗਾ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਪੈਗਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਘਰ-ਘਰ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕਰਵਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰੋ 07702748906 ਤੇ।
Is the cream coconut served with feta cheese potato bake. The ingredients are follows. You need a 3/4 cup of fresh corn kernels, which you need to boil. If they are fresh, if they are frozen, they need to be blanched. Remove all the water and prepare with the following ingredients. You need 2 spring onions, chop them, half a teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of green chilies, 1 inch by 1 inch sliced ginger, chunky pieces, 1/3 cube of cream coconut, and orange peppers chopped and diced. Heat a pan with half a teaspoon of avocado oil, half a teaspoon of sesame seed oil, half a teaspoon of olive oil. Saute the spring onions, add in the garlic, the ginger, and the sweet corn. With the peppers have to be cooked before the sweet corn. 5 minutes later, add in the sweet corn, and 5 minutes again after that, add in the steamed and pre-cooked bulgur wheat with haricots, which takes a good 20 minutes. So take half a cup of bulgur wheat and a half a cup of tinned haricot beans. The bulgur wheat a couple of hours before for a minimum 25 minutes. Dehydrate the water. Spice it up with tomato puree and other herbs to bring nice Indian touch. Add the bulgur wheat into the corn and drop in the cream coconut, which should melt on very gentle heat. Add in half a glass of almond milk. If it does dry up, you could add more milk to taste. Serve that with feta cheese potato bake, which is 2 potatoes, organic, boiled, de-skinned, mash them, take 1/3 cube of feta cheese, break it up. Into the mashed potatoes, add a handful of organic chopped spinach, 1 teaspoon of kasturi methi, salt, ginger, garlic, chilies to taste. Drop in the crumbled feta cheese. Add in 2 tablespoons of almond milk to make it into palatable pate mix. Make the feta cheese potato bake into good ring size shape, round. Quickly dust it with corn flour. On top of the corn flour, sprinkle on olive oil, and roll it in the breadcrumb mix, and repeat the same on the other side of the potato. Prepare your air fryer at 175 degrees for 10 minutes on each side. If it does get brown very quickly, you need to reduce the heat, but 10 minutes later, brush the olive oil on one side, turn it over and brush it, and let that cook till it's brown or crispy. Serve that with an avocado salad, which is 1 avocado. Dice that to your desired size or shape. Dress that up with a bit of chilies, salt. Fresh lemon must be added to avocado to make it taste good, and you can add extra avocado oil on the avocado. Serve that with red cherry tomatoes and orange tomatoes and enjoy the taste. Ji haan, welcome to the potato cakes, which are going to be crispy, which is what you all guys look for, which is going to be served with this. If this dries up, you can add more almond milk, which I will, because that will help to keep it nice. So about half a glass. By the time all the coconut melts through and we get to the plating, we don't want it dehydrated. Wow, the smell is gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful. What is missing? The greens, my favorite. Look at that. The dish changes. Just the statement of the dish is different when you add the greens. Let's get to the cakes, or the potato bake, or the potato tikki. Not tikki, but really it's going to be different. Feta cheese potato bake, which is going to be crispy, which is going to be delicious, which is going to be spicy, which is going to be served with this corn, which is going to be super delicious. A dish never done. So let's get baking and cooking. That's going to go into the air fryer. Feta cheese, as you're aware, does crumble very quickly. There should be very little salt added to this, because feta cheese itself, I'm adding 1/3 of this, is quite salty. 1/3 of the normal quality Greek. Do not go for cheap substitutes which have flour bases, because you will never taste the best of the cheese then. That's so beautiful. The smell and the aroma is gorgeous. Why I'm adding the feta cheese is because palak in here is going to be going to bland the potatoes, yeah? So adding in 1 handful of chopped palak, which is spinach. In this, we are going to add in 2 tablespoons of almond milk. See how what the milk has done? Just quickly made it into wonderful constitution. Salt, garlic, chilies, everything, kasturi methi if you so wish. 1 chili, garlic, half a teaspoon, ginger, half a teaspoon, kasturi methi, adding warmth, 2 teaspoons. Mix all this up with more spices to add, which is going to be garam masala, 1/4 teaspoon pink salt, chilies, harissa sauce powder, which is really great for baking, smoking any dishes. This will be going into the air fryer, but here is still what we have to do is make the feta cheese potato bake in shape that you like. Give it a good mix. So if I move this dish away and create room here, and we can get a better picture. There's still crumbs of feta cheese lying around, so what I want to do is break it through. That's probably the last one, I hope. Beautiful mix. As you can see, it's bound well. Just 2 tablespoons of milk made the mix wonderful. If you add any extra, it'll be runny. So here I'm going to make for 2 people. That's good enough. Using corn flour. Very little oil. What the oil is going to do is going to help the breadcrumbs to stick on. So I'm going to take this to open my air fryer, which is lined, take my breadcrumbs, turn it once and twice, and that will go onto my tray. Making the second one the same concept. Bit of the corn flour. Now adding the oil. Taking it back to my breadcrumb mix. With non-vegetarian, they would use egg mix or egg yolk or white of an egg to get this to stick. So my concept to make it vegetarian was using the oil, and that also goes in the air fryer. 175 degrees. Potatoes are cooked. So we'll do it on 8 minutes, 4 on each side. Get the potatoes crispy with the feta cheese, and if you need to, we'll definitely need to brush the oil back on after 4 minutes. On 175 degrees. So after 4 minutes, we will turn over the feta potato bake and turn it around and ready to go into the plating section. Stay tuned after this little short break. Well, a great sound of the bleeper, folks, to say okay, the cooking's done. With the feta cheese, something I've created first time, take note, it has to be greased on both sides, but it does take a good 10 minutes each side. At 175, you can take it up to 180, depending how crispy. So time of cooking is important. Beautifully soft. Not burdened as a potato because it's got the greens. Serving that with the wonderful cream. Cream coconut sweet corn with slices of ginger, peppers, and the bulgur wheat, serving that with the potato, feta cheese, and a wonderful avocado salad with 2 different wonderful orange and red tomatoes. Folks, these are the colors that are powerful antioxidants for our daily cell structure, for our living being, for keeping toxins away, for anti-aging, for keeping the freshness in the skin, for our brain food, and remembering that coconut was important. We also put avocado, we also put walnut oil, we also put olive oil, 3 oils bouncing, and then comes in the coconut. You've got 4 oils in one meal, and may you also enjoy your future months ahead of 2017. Take care of yourself and each other. Goodbye, Sat Sri Akal, Namaskar, Adab, Kwaheri to all the Rafiki of Kenya. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.